Yo, what's up, Devin? What up, Pizza? Pizza, what's up, man? James, C-Fats, Lino, Plastic Starfish. Yo, Ethan, what's up, man? All right, guys, we are back on stream. Full time, baby. David, Day One Champ, Matt, Joe. All right, guys, let's look at the markets. All right, so I'm gonna be pulling back and forth two different streams. So we got the all-in-one indicator, which I have to move some things on here. Let's put the chat. The chat's gonna come down here for this one. We'll put it right here. Right here. Hey, good to see you, man. All right, so we've got the all-in-one indicator. For those that don't know how this works, it's pretty cool. So I've got the stock market right here. This is all stocks, and then I also have crypto. So back and forth between them two. This is a really good way to spot breakouts in the market. I use this every single day. We've done this live before, so I'm gonna be streaming with this, and then we're gonna come back and also stream to do analysis on this other stream over here. I'll pull back and forth between the two. So we'll come back to Amy. I'm gonna talk about Amy, but I also want to talk about the market and the crypto markets because we're pumping, man, and I think this is a really good opportunity. Right now, I think there's a lot going on in the crypto markets, and I think that this is going to affect everything. It's going to affect everything in the mid to long term. So we're gonna get to it. All right, SPY. So a few things with SPY right now. Let's actually go on the daily chart. Okay. So one of the things that I've been preaching here, okay, with just the indicators, right? The indicators are pretty important here. I use about 3 indicators to analyze the markets, and I think with this is really all you need. I don't think like there are other indicators I use like the options calculator and the crypto calculator, but that's different. That's for entry and exit positions. But spots is really good at spotting these trends in the market that are happening. So, for example, right now we're starting to see the market decline a little bit here, and it's been on a downtrend since July, and it's just back and forth, man. It's creating a little parallel channel, declining on the way to we're at 420 right now, and we're hoping for a bounce, but these are critical levels in the market right now. So one of the things that I pulled up here was the spots indicator because this is really good at telling us where the markets are headed, well, depending on whether we have a blue or pink spot on the chart, and we're on the daily chart here, right? So one of the things I looked at was this little section here because even though there are 4 different spots here, so you can see there is, we call this saturation in the markets when on this indicator because it's very like this is a very accurate indicator. You can see like it crosses through. We're bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, right? And then we have saturation right here. So this is pretty important to look at because if we come back to early 2022, we had the same thing. The markets were choppy. Didn't really know if we were gonna start this downtrend or if the markets were gonna keep going up. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. We started to head back down. But this is what I've been tracking right now so far. If we take this little section here from the moment the markets start trading choppy, and you bring it right over here, we got this right here, right? So this is like why, some of these indicators are pretty gold, man. Pretty golden here, because it's a good way to track what's potentially going to happen next here in the markets. And right now, it looks like we're still on a decline phase. We don't know yet if this is going to turn into another short-term accumulation phase before we start heading back up, or if this is just distribution, right? And we're going to start heading back down. So that's step one, man. Spots indicator. And then I don't use RSI. I use something else. It's called changes. This is an ROC indicator. I've kind of messed with it a little bit to get some parameters here that I use so that we so we get some of these levels, pretty clear levels. All right, give me what's going on here. Okay, awesome. All right, so and I read that it's very similar to an RSI, except this is going to measure the rate of change over a set period of time. Set period of bars back is what I input into this indicator here. And what we can see right now is that we're headed down to potentially double bottom. So short-term bounce, short-term bounce is likely here going into November time based on this pattern here. Now, this is just SPY we're looking at right now. This is the daily time frame. Another powerful time frame I use is the weekly chart. And the weekly chart, has a pink spot right now. Okay, so this is the thing with the pink spot and why it's a little tricky. So back in, September? No, early this year, we also had a bit of saturation before deciding whether the markets were going to turn around or not. So it's possible we have the same thing right here. So even if we come back up to that 440, 450 range and the markets start trading, sideways again, it's going to be like very, very important here that the markets turn around if we're going to see new highs again. Because the narrative is kind of changing a little bit, right? So we had back down here, the markets were like, yo, we're going to crash or whatever. And then the markets start pumping. But now we're starting to see almost the opposite effect taking place. So it almost makes you think hey, maybe the markets are going to start heading back down. Don't know yet. There's quite a bit of time before that happens. I think by the end of the year, we might have a better picture here. But I think for the rest of the year, we're going to see just very choppy markets trading sideways. And what that means for the crypto market and AMC, which is what we're going to talk about here next. But first, let's take a look at the all-in-one here, intraday setups. And guys, if you are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, all right? And hit that like button real quick. Hit that and smash that like button. Okay, let's come back to this. So here are some intraday setups that are taking place right now. One of the cryptos we've been tracking for a little bit is Pepe. It finally broke out yesterday, had a 30% move. And I don't think it's done, man. I think it's just starting now. All-in-one indicator right now. I'll tell you some of the ones that are on breakouts. You can see back here we have ordinals. This one broke out yesterday with Pepe or I'm sorry, yeah, with Pepe. And then today it's doing the same thing. So all of these, you can see that they are on the oversold area, but sometimes it's an indicator that they're getting ready to continue the pop. Right now we have Mina. Yeah, this one went up like 70%. Mina, and then up here we have AGLD. Is that Argoland? I believe it is. Okay, and then we also have LDO. Okay, so these guys right now are leading the minute chart, man. But it's the one I use because it's the one that actually tells you the breakouts. So here, let's do it. Let's do AGLD. Okay, here it is. Was that the one? Yep, it is. Okay, and then we have LDO. There's another one right here is about to break out. Is Mina. Man, Mina 70% yesterday. Crazy, crazy stuff. Okay. And with this, I used the volt indicator to help us out here. Volt indicator is great, man. Let's go and see the stock market right now. We have CGC, VXRT. VXRT, is it up today? It's probably low volume though. Yep, very low volume, so don't care for that. What else is up right now? Tilray up 4%. Heading up. And some of the ones that are down, Atarian, I believe that's metamaterials, maybe. Yep. Okay, let's go on the. Look at that. Yep, and Mara and Riot are obviously up with the crypto markets right now. They're leading the game. And in second place, yep, Riot. Okay, Netflix. All right. CGC. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at AMC now. I'll come back to that. All right, so what happened on this volatility zone on AMC? So today is the peak on the cycle. So the volume that we have seen on AMC right now, that has already happened, went up about 50%. So on the volatility zone, it still went up. It was a good run, but now it's trading sideways. And we're waiting to see if we're gonna start climbing back up here, or if we're gonna start climbing back down. So this is my thoughts here on this. So there are many patterns I'm tracking right now, and it's very like predictable at this point to see where we're going to experience it, at least the next short-term volatility zone, the POI here. It's likely to happen in the next few days for a few reasons. So we have there's many patterns, guys. Okay, I'm going to start off with this one here. This is Mara. Mara already did this. We're starting to see a little bit of divergence here. So that's good. The fact that it's turning around, that's a really good sign. Another pattern we're tracking right now is AMC. Let's bring back this one. Where is it? Here it is. This is AMC in January. Okay, so very similar in what we call this little fake out. AMC had already done this in August of 2022. It was a lot quicker. The fake out happened here, and then it started to climb up very quickly. We tracked this pattern for a little bit, and initially it was tracking, but then it got rejected back down, and now we're starting to see this kind of a little projector setup here if the price keeps going up. Otherwise, okay, here's Mara showing us the downside here. So what's the likelihood that it starts climbing up again outside of the cycle? Well, taking a look at the cycle in the market, we haven't seen AMC climb outside. We've only seen that happen once, and it was in the after-hour session. And as we know it, this was completely it was a fake out, man. It was the algorithm taking things back in place to basically inverse squeeze here. So come back into the volatility zone and then boom, all the way down. So this was an error in the cycle, and that happens. It's not really common, but in this case, because AMC did not climb up to that threshold line that we track every single time, which is 70%, it makes it more likely that it won't keep going up in the short term. And what I mean by that is like experience a volatility zone. So AMC can keep climbing up. It can be a steady climb, right? But I think what we're going to see here is we're going to see it set up in some form of way and then going into this next volatility zone, which, like I've said before, I don't like trading inside the cycle that is not the volatility zone, because the chances of it experiencing any volatility outside are very slim. Okay, again, it's only happened once. So the only other way that would happen, man, is if the cycle is no longer tracking. But I just, based on this dump here, this inverse squeeze here, I think we're still tracking, because even the downside, tracking the downside here is pretty relevant. When this happened here, I was having second thoughts. I was like, we're probably not tracking anymore. The cycle has now shifted over a month like some of the stocks do, but that was not the case. This was just a fake out, came back in sync, and things started to climb inverse. Right in here, right? So that's the only thing, man. And yeah, it's a waiting game. It's a patience game. Even though things look bullish here, I mean, like the one thing that I hold myself to here when we get to the volatility zone is, like, if we don't experience volatility quickly and things start climbing down, I mean, that's it for now, right? But that's the beauty of the markets here. If we have a tool that's able to kind of narrow things down here, it just makes it a lot easier to track these run-ups, right? So this doesn't matter much if you're somebody who likes trading shares, because you don't really have time against you. But with options, it's a different story. With options, you do have time against you, and that can be an issue if you're somebody who's looking to if you're somebody who's looking to benefit off of trading options. So that's the thing about Amy. It's you got to get the timing right. You got to get the timing right. Check out, they have a lawsuit. BS. That's interesting. I'll take a look at that. Yeah. Bitcoin SV. Oh, it just came back in. That's crazy. That's weird. I did not even know that. Yeah, I was wondering why Bitcoin or BSV was not, for a while at least, it was not trading on most platforms. Just kind of came back in here. I mean, a lot of this has to do with the BlackRock. I mean, it hasn't even been approved yet. I think there's just it's on track to be approved, and the news here following it's just makes the odds a little bit greater that it would be approved. I don't see why it wouldn't. Yeah, man. I honestly at this point I do think the crypto markets are going to continue to go up though. For a few reasons. But one of the things we were waiting for was the 30K break, and we just got that. So when you have the crypto markets here breaking a major level of resistance, this right here completely flipped the narrative that the crypto markets were going to come down. For specifically one of the a pattern I was tracking for a very, very long time, just flipped here yesterday. And this was a trigger, man. Like, this was what we were waiting for here. So this is why, like, everything right now in the markets is pumping, why there's a lot of opportunity right now in the crypto markets. Now, when the markets pump like this though, and they pump very quickly, this is just you gotta draw your little trajectory line, right? Because crypto is slow as hell, and this can very well come down quickly, and then as long as you're respecting, this is your mid phase right here, but as long as you're respecting this trajectory here, you're still bullish, right? We have this trajectory line, so it's coming up, probably going to test 36, and if it stops there, this can come down, right? It can affect contracts for Mara, Riot, and then right here, it becomes an opportunity, right, in the short term. But then you kind of have to, like, you got to prepare yourself for short-term downside before things start to climb back up again. But yeah, man, one of the patterns we've been tracking for a little bit on Bitcoin has been gold, and I think that's what they're using Bitcoin for. I think gold is gold 1974. All right, gold 1974 is right here. And if you measure the market cap, like, dude, I went on a deep dive here on this, but gold's market cap in 1974 was, if you do the same calculation for inflation, it was 1.2 trillion at the peak, right? And I asked ChatGPT, I was like, convert this, man, convert this for me right now. And it went down the same way too. It reached like the $300 million market cap the same time. It took 2 years, and then it started to climb back up, and eventually it hit the $15 trillion market cap, and that's where it's currently trading at right now. Right, this is not it. This is 1985, I think 1985 or something. But look at this, man. Like, it's turning around. Here it is again, a bigger version of it. So it makes you think, like, Bitcoin being the newest commodity here. I don't know, man. I think something's gonna go down with the transfer here between maybe gold and Bitcoin. And I think if Bitcoin reached the same market cap as gold, which I think it would, then it would. People that say it can go to $1 million, and they're like, no, that's BS. No, it's not, dude. Like, $15 trillion market cap for Bitcoin is $1 million, and that's the craziest thing. But it's up there. It's like $1 million something if it goes up to 15 trillion. Right now, I think it's only trading at like 400. I think maybe 400 million. I'm gonna double check. Well, total is not no. Well, yeah, we can do total. That's the total market cap though. That's not gonna. Yeah, total market cap is a lot more. But if we just do Bitcoin, this is 1.2 right now. It was at 3, but I just want Bitcoin. Where is it? Is it right here? Yeah, here it is. No, that's percent. What is this? Here it is. Yeah, see 1.2 comes down to 300, and then right now it's at 650. Okay, so it was just at 500 and then 650. Yep. Now, watch this, dude. And guys, those that don't know much about the crypto space, or I know it's a little different than the markets, and there's a different way of trading the crypto space. It's different, but with when the opportunity's there, it's the opportunity's there. It's all you definitely need more patience for the crypto market because things take forever. But it's man, it's I think there's a lot of coins that are gonna start popping off. I'm gonna talk about Pepe here soon because it's the one we've been covering here for a little while. Okay, gold. Why the? Okay, here we go. 19. Go. Look at that. I even I have I still have this here, okay? $1.2 trillion market cap. I'm on the daily chart. I'm on the daily chart for Bitcoin here. Here it was at 1.2 trillion. And then right here is where it's starting to turn around. It took basically the same amount, 1975 to 1976, so about a year and a half to 2021. 2022, about a year and a half, and then it just started to pump. It started to pump like crazy, and it didn't stop for a while, dude. Okay, 1980, it was when it stopped. So doing the math here, 1.2 trillion at 200, going to basically 800. That's 4x. Wow. So yeah, 4x, man, and that would put so at 1.25, 4x would put it somewhere up here, almost $5 trillion market cap first. And then this is what happened, right? It went up there. It traded sideways for a while, dude, for, my God, like 20 years. Then it reached then it reached a $15 trillion market cap, which is currently trading at. But that's just inflation right there, man. It's going to go up with inflation. So yeah, dude, I think this is it. I think this is the break that we needed. And in the next 4 years, I don't see why it can't repeat what gold did, bro. They're using this. They got to be using Bitcoin for the same reasons they did back in 1974, which is crazy because this was the stock market crash, man, of 1980. Right? 1980, the market just crashed like crazy. Am I wrong? No, I'm right. 1970, 1980 crash. $1987. Was it 1987? 1987. Okay. So no, I guess it took a while, man, for the market to crash. 1980s. Okay, here it came down. Pump. It was very quick too. 19 August, September. It took 2 months, dude. Jesus. Okay. All right, let's do recap back at all in one. See what we got. A little update. All right, crypto markets. What are we doing? All right, we got Mina back oversold. Looks like we got a little breakout coming out here. I think this is WorldCoin. Yep, WorldCoin is breaking out. Every time, bro, perpetual futures always just has more data. It always just has like more volume, more data happening. Otherwise, it's just barcoding. But here's WorldCoin. Looks to be breaking out. There it is. There's a little push here. So spotting these guys, remember this indicator down here is very good at spotting breakouts all in one. Okay, right before we see this candle take place, just kind of pops. Okay, let's go back to market here. Okay, QSI. And Rivian. Some of the Rivian. Okay. All right, so there's a little recap of that. We got WorldCoin about to pop, and then Pepe is also looking to climb back up. So let's talk about Pepe real quick. Because Pepe, guys, man, it's been on radar for quite some time. We have been on the Discord just constantly covering this because the point of interest that we tracked for October, which just happened, was using Shiba as a reference coin, and right now we're seeing the same thing take place. So let's talk about Pepe, because I think Pepe is where it's at right now. It's where it's at, man. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys some of the patterns I'm tracking and how we were able to predict this run up that happened here just recently, right? So a few things we were tracking mainly was the level of support here, which it did not spring down below the 58 level. This thing it sustained. It did just a triple bounce before climbing back up. Now I'm going to show you some of the patterns here that we were tracking, but this is Shiba right here. And Shiba, okay, yesterday was calling for some upside, and we also had a few other patterns here that we tracked for quite some time. There's so many. I have GRT. I had GRT. The levels were hitting really good on this pattern here. This is Shiba again. Okay, this is Tilray. Man, Tilray's Tilray's pattern was tracking like man to a T at this like until it got down here, kind of started to stray away a little bit, and then we came up. Now, like if we take a look at this section here, though, this is why I'm pretty excited for the next few days, because if Bitcoin, at least even if Bitcoin were to come down and trade sideways for a few days, I think this is going to set Pepe to climb up the same way Shiba did. Look at this little section that we have right here. So what happens, right? The price came up to basically the same levels. It rode up. This was a parabolic arc here, just putting pressure on the shorts before it couldn't, it just couldn't suppress the price anymore. And then the price basically has like a little mini squeeze. It goes up 30%. It got rejected back down. It's currently creating a little flag formation, which I think will have a few fake outs. But what's going to happen after that? Because this right here is showing just like almost like a perfect flag, right? Within that perfect flag, though, that you're looking at, there are still some fake outs, and you can see the little flag formation here, but if you draw your levels of resistance and support, this thing breaks it twice. Yeah, it breaks it right here. That's the fake out. And it kind of breaks it right here too. If we did high and low, you're going to see these like pretty massive wicks here. I hate wicks, dude. I hate wicks. But that I think that's what's happening right now with Pepe. I think it's going to develop into this, and then we're going to have the next leg up in the next few days. I think this is the beginning for Pepe. It's been on a massive downtrend since May, just like Shiba did. Now let's pull up both so you guys can see a little bit what I'm talking about here and why we've been tracking this for a little while. Now the original, this is the one we're going to use, because the one for Binance it just doesn't work, dude. They give us like the wrong chart. Here it is, Shiba on the hourly chart, and here is a Pepe. Now, the difference between these two is that this is the swap contract chart using Uniswap. So because it is that, even though it's showing us basically what Pepe looks like, it's going to have less data. So an easy way to kind of line everything up here is we'll take the high, and we'll take it all the way up here. It says it's 147 days. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to try and fit this here a little bit. Now, 147 days here, you can see it's delayed a little bit. Like the upside doesn't start happening till a little bit later. But that's fine. I mean, this was delayed about what? A few, maybe like a month? Yeah, about a month, 20 days. But looking at the chart, though, they're basically the same. And again, we were tracking this down here for a little while. But now I think where it's currently at, which you're going to see a little bit better on the Binance chart, is right here. You're starting to see the upside happen, and there are fake outs on the way up. But this isn't even where it ends, man. This comes up to the high, and then it keeps going. It goes above the 40 range. So it's currently trading at 8, right? 8 cent. Like, I'm going to say cents here because I don't want to get into the decimals. But if it's trading at around 88 and it goes up to 400, and then on Shiba, bro, this thing goes all the way up to, let's see. Oh, man. Look at this. Guys, do you see what I see, baby? Look at that. This thing gave no... Just, dude. Why I think this is just the like baby numbers here, because this run up here was crazy. There's somebody on the Discord uh that rode this thing from the bottom here all the way up 3,000%. I had some stop losses that were triggered, but we were tracking the upside here. But one thing I will say, guys, about this is, if this were to like do the same thing, which is on track to do, and we've been pretty accurate up to this point, but if this were to replicate what happened with Shiba, which took a month, it took 1 month. I mean, this would probably run into some time in November. It took a month. This happened right after Bitcoin gave the go, right? Gave the okay, which it went up first, and then a few days later we started to see all these smaller coins rally. So yeah, dude, if this thing keeps going up, and say it repeats and does the same thing that Shiba did, which I do have the pattern here, I'm gonna have to stretch it a little bit for you guys. Something like that. Look at where it would go, man. This thing would go to from 8, I'm going to say 8 cents to 40, and then from 40 to basically 100. So that's man, that's like, what is that, like 10x? Yeah, that's like 10x right there. It's 10x if you're just like spot trading, right? Basically, from the bottom here, it's way more. From 6 to this is 10x. But not if you are oop, I missed one. Oh, I missed another? Did I miss another one? Oh, custom target. What am I doing? There it is. You know, like, this is the crazy thing about leverage, man. Like, leverage, and this is a calculator here that I made for specifically to track profits, because I think, man, I think TradeView's got to get on this, bro. They gotta. I made an options calculator and the crypto calculator on purpose, because, like, dude, I want to know. I want to know how much money is on the line here, with profits, right? But yeah, this is just, it tells you the targets and everything, man. From the entry to the exit, it tells you exactly how much what you're looking at here, based on margin and leverage and all that stuff. 10, let's see, 10, 200, 10. I mean, that's still crazy. Look at that. It's I mean, this number is not going to change that well. It is going to change if you change the leverage, right? But it's, yeah, man, it's just to show you what anybody, like, if you were trading Shiba back in the day when this all went down, and people were using leverage and stuff, man, like, it's the same thing. Like, it's, the price went up the same way, and people turned whatever the hell into whatever the hell. So it's, this happens all the time. It's just in the crypto space, it doesn't happen as often. Yeah, this happens more in the markets with options, but not as much in the crypto space. It's like everything runs at the same time, but some coins are just going to run a little bit higher than others. So that's why, man, I'm saying, like, let's see. We got here, still have, yep, here's that pattern I was tracking on Shiba. Here's the 5-minute from the run up here, from the little parabolic setup. And it's basically calling for the next move to happen in the next few days. Yeah. This has to turn around soon, though. Has to turn around very soon. This is Pepe. Pepe. All right. All right, guys. I'll show you guys some of the tickers we are tracking on the Discord. You guys get a little taste of this. So right now we are tracking a few. So we tracked a Riot already, and that has been we've already done the little options plan on that. But and that was something in anticipating the move that just happened with crypto. But another trade right now that I'm tracking is Futu. Okay, and I'm gonna show you guys what is going on with Futu. Okay, man, Futu is a crazy stock. All right, one of the patterns that we have been tracking right now for since early October time, which is following to a freaking T right now, is this one here. Now, one of the things that I had mentioned, because this is one of the ways that I narrow down points of interest. So points of interest, once I do everything else that a lot of the analysis when narrowing down points of interest has to do with options in the stock market. At the end of everything, all the analysis with indicators, with events are other ways to narrow down the points of interest, is like earnings and stuff like that. But that is not something that I really use that much to figure out when things are likely to go up or not. It is something I track, but I don't like using that method as much because it is a little bit more predictable. But patterns are great because algorithms, they just rinse and repeat patterns, man. It's just finding the right one, and really having multiple candidates is key, right? You don't want to just stick to one. Now, the thing I will say about this is that yes, this pattern looks freaking awesome and it looks great, and I mean, like, what the hell? Like, this is literally, bro. Look at that. This is what we call a little hovering projector pattern, and yesterday I had set on stream that the reason I like this one is because this this support trend line that is being respected right now is being respected the same way on AMC's fractal. This is a fractal. It's not a one-to-one pattern. This is a lot bigger of a chart compared to January. This is January AMC. I remember when it went up to 25 and then it came back down to like a few dollars and then it started to climb back up. Same thing. So if we take the same trend line down here, you can see it does the same thing. It just rides this trend line. This is the second test. It does just 1, 2, right, from down here. And then here it just hovers over. It doesn't go up or it doesn't go down. It just hovers over. Why I like it so much, right? Something else that I preach here on this, though, is that when you find the pattern, the reference pattern that you're tracking, you got to make sure that the gaps that you see on the chart, okay, that they're like, if you're the more you zoom out, the better. Like I was originally tracking this on the weekly chart because, I hate gaps, man. And the levels here are still tracking to a T, but the thing about patterns and when you track little windows, like if we track this little window here, a lot of the volume that you're looking at here where there are gaps is volume from different sections of the fractal you're tracking. So, for example, this down here could be this section on this fractal, and that's the thing that made me a little bit skeptical about having a position here on this. You don't want to track things just because there is you don't want to open a position just because there is a massive massive upside on AMC's fractal, right? This looks like a good pattern, but doesn't mean that we have to go up to 100 in the next few weeks. If you take this down here, it's almost the same levels. It's almost the same pump and dump. So that's one of the things that I always talk about here is you got to be careful with that because it doesn't have to happen that way. But a few other things that suggest that this is something likely to happen is, well, you got to look at the chart, right? You got to look at what the the stock is doing. So we look at one thing, right? Spots. Let's check one. All right, what has it done before? Okay, this is the first short-term pink curve we have crossed on a blue spot. And what I like about this is that it crossed and it bounced off of that curve again. So this is normally a really good sign now that it's trading up here and it's just hovering right above it. So if we zoom out of the chart, this looks like a projector pattern. It's coming up, and it has a short-term cross here getting ready to continue its rally on the way up. Another thing I'm tracking is support and resistance, just very basic support and resistance levels. There's major volume up here, okay? So if this thing is getting ready to break out of accumulation, it's going to do it very quickly, and just like Bitcoin did yesterday, where it came up, if you're tracking a trajectory line, it's going to do it, and then it's going to come back down like this pattern is showing us, right? Because the trajectory is still bullish. So these guys are going to fake you out, man. They're going to fake you out like crazy. You're going to have pumps. They're going to be shut down. But as long as you are still trending up, that's all that matters, man. Stocks are not going to go up forever. They're going to come up. They're going to come down. That's one thing. Another thing I'm tracking right now is the changes indicator. That's one of the other things that I saw here on the daily chart. Okay, so the reason I like this one right now, this is where you kind of look at like historical levels of the chart, but it is trading above the trend, the threshold, I mean. And it has been trading above the threshold, okay, for the since July. So it's been trading above it, and it got rejected on this last drop. It got rejected, it got shut down, and it came above again. So I want to look at two different times this has happened before, but right here, you can see it came down very quickly, and it got rejected. Again, it got rejected. It did a spring, and then it started to squeeze. And same thing right here. Now, it did come from a negative. It was on the negative side of things for a little while before it came back up. But every time it bounces, it either bounces on the threshold, on the 0 mark, or on the 5%. And it did it back here too. Okay, so all of these times where it bounces, it does it on that range. So that's another reason I was a little bit more bullish on this. But one of the things I had said was, man, with these kinds of plays where like volatility is basically like almost a confirmation here, is sometimes playing if you're doing options and stuff, playing the call and the put side out of the money. Not financial advice, obviously, but that is a strategy a lot of people use when they're anticipating volatility to happen. Markets, because usually one of the contracts will outweigh the other if the volatility is extreme enough to do it, right? Not if the price trades sideways. If the price trades sideways, then the people selling the calls and the people selling the puts will keep your premium, and they end up winning there, right? So the point here is trying to spot the volatility event so that you can benefit off of the volatility, right, on either side of whether it's the call or the put. So that's what we got, man, for Futu. Haven't changed much of what I said about it, but very likely will be looking at a position in the short term for Futu. Okay. Another little recap on all-in-one. Let's see what we got. Okay, so and this is the threshold mark here on the this is basically the changes indicator with every single or every the most popular cryptos. I basically have all the cryptos on this one. I have seven in here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's called the all-in-one, and I have 7 overlaid on top of each other. So this is an overkill. It's pretty overkill, man, but I want to see what the heck is happening everywhere, all right? So that I can, I can spot these breakouts. If you guys want these indicators, they are on the website, the link below. And there's 5 right now. I'm going to include the crypto calculator, and I'm updating some of the other indicators soon. So those are on there as well. Okay, let's see. Blur looks like to be the only one that's up right now. Blur and Mina, being that it just went up 70%, is down. Yeah, look at that, 7% right now, Mina. Okay, let's see. Stock market. Well, this is the daily on. Let me guess. This is Nick EDU. EDU. Ooh. Bro, EDU is. Wow. EDU, man. EDU is on a streak, and I really like this short-term pattern right now on EDU. This is a classic inclined, we call it an inclined M-shaped pattern on EDU. I need to look, I need to look at their option chain, man, because this thing is crazy right now. This thing is, I think, getting ready to pop. See, guys, I was just doing a little bit of analysis here on the all-in-one, and you can see that that is the one that is breaking out right now. It's EDU, breaking out of everything, and actually has been for quite some time. But that's fine. I mean, the more you are above the average, dude, the more the chances are that things are going to fully break out and go. Now, it has been, I believe this is Nicola. Yeah, Nicola down here. So take a look at this. So a lot of these, because they are overlaid on top of each other, they're the same exact color. So this is why it's cool. Like you hover over it and it'll tell you like which one you're tracking. Like there's so many. This is CGC right here. We also have AAOI. We had Upstart, Carvana, all these guys that just have been killing it this year. But now we're on basically the next wave, because you got to look at these as little phases, right? You come back to 2021, and this is where you see AMC. And then obviously we have GameStop right here killing it. And then what is it? OCGN. Okay. OCGN, and I believe this is Metamaterials. So a lot of these stocks that had already done this back here. So it's a good way to see which ones are next here to track. So EDU is, I believe it's a Chinese stock, and it's been on a downtrend for a little bit, and it's finally turning around here. But I'm curious to see what these look like here? How many? Did it do a split or something, man? One for 10? Okay, reverse split. Interesting. It did a reverse split, and then it just started to climb. 63. It's basically up 6x right now. Man, this reminds me of Paramount. They like went down at the same time. Basically, except Paramount just took a greater dump. Wow. Okay. All right, let's see what else. The same way we track the the ones that are overbought or about to break out, we spot the ones that are oversold. And right now, AMC was at the bottom here for the longest time. I mean, it was number one in September. AMC was at negative 86. Now it's up at negative 40. So we had talked about this, and then we saw AMC turn around from there. So right now we have a charge point, and what's this one down here? Negative 63. That's BNGO. Okay, BNGO. And then Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat, yep, Beyond Meat is definitely on there. Okay, so it's crazy though. ChargePoint is starting to turn around now. It's crazy. I mean, we have Plug as well, tracking Plug to do some things. So let me see what ChargePoint is looking like. Ooh, damn, bro, ChargePoint took a dump, man. Wow. This thing went from 50 to $2. Wow. Crazy stuff, dude. Okay. All right, but let's I'm doing this for the intraday breakout, so I gave you guys some of the macro oversold and overbought stocks, and we can start looking at some of the intraday breakouts for those that just want to see some of these. So right now it looks like Neo is on top. We got Neo, and right below Neo, we have Plug. Okay, so look at that. Plug and Neo both on top. Tilray, and it looks like Nikola is heading on its way back up too. GME? Is that GME? No, that's not GME. Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum. But Ethereum does have a little bit of low volume right now as well. CGC. Okay, and then back here on crypto. Okay, Mina at the bottom. Ladies. And then up here, we got AGLD. Still kind of making IMX. And Echo, you had mentioned one too, man. Let me go on that here. Jasmy, USDT. Yeah, and I do agree with you, man. I do think there's a lot of potential for Jasmy because looking at how I'm looking at some of these oversold and overbought cryptos on the daily chart, and right now, so Jasmy just had a little POI, kind of like what the other cryptos have been doing, where they're riding up, but they kind of pop once enough pressure has been put on the shorts, right? So I think it's doing that right now. It's like getting ready to pop. And let me look at this thing. This thing went from, and this is not even its full chart. This thing went from 28 down to basically 10x inverse. So yeah, I agree with you, man. I think that's a good crypto. Now let's look at the entire Jasmy chart. This is the one that I look at sometimes, man, and I'm like, how? Like, how did they do this? This thing went down from 0.36 cents to 8 cents, back up to 4 cents. Or no. Not 8 cents to what it went down to a penny, basically a penny, but a little bit less than a penny. And then back up to 4 pennies. And then all the way back down. Wow, dude. Wow, man. Like, that's just crazy. Somebody who shorted this, dude. Somebody who just said, you know what, I'm going to short this up here at 36 cents. And they just exited now. That's how much percent. Because remember, for the downside, it's not, it would say 99%, but that's not the right math. It's the same. It's just the same as upside. It's not 99%. 99% would be at the 50% mark right there. That's 99%. And then from here, you got to keep going down, keep going down, keep going down as it keeps cutting the price in half over and over and over again. 14,000%, man. These freaking why I'm telling you, man, crypto is just, it's got to be ready to turn around. I mean, how many cryptocurrencies here are just beat? They're just beat, man. And if crazy. All right. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. So I want to look at the entire. Okay, so guys, all in one indicator down here, giving us the average of all of these cryptocurrencies here. So you can see it in black down here. And if you take a look, just because we use the same form of analysis on the changes indicator to try and see if we're on a bearish or bullish trajectory here. And, initially, before crypto started to really dump here, you can kind of see why it did that. Like, I mean, it did not break a level of resistance for a little while. And this indicator does an amazing job at respecting resistance and support. It's just kind of like a hidden thing. But here's that trend line here for you guys so you can see it gets rejected February 16th, which a lot of cryptocurrencies started to dump here. Remember, this is Bitcoin here. Bitcoin it's typically the first one to kind of lead the way before everything starts to pump, right? Most coins started to go up in February here, and you can see that's the peak. That's where everything just peaks. Once you get that, it starts to come down, but the crypto markets haven't came down yet. But that's initially the first sign before, telling you the peak is near or is in. And in this case, it comes down, it gets rejected off of the second level, and that's where we establish a downtrend. That's the first time we establish it. So once it got rejected in September of 2021, the price kept going down. And this was the final rejection. Once we got rejected in April of 2022, that is where the crypto market said we're dumping because we did not break this resistance trend line. We didn't break it. So now that it came down, we got the crypto markets dumping like crazy. But now, this is the test, dude. You got to draw a parallel channel because we're in accumulation right now on this. Here's the parallel channel. Okay, so the break here, the test is going to be the 37% mark. I'm on the daily chart. That's going to be the test. Once we break that, I think that's where we're going to have a massive crypto surge. Right now, I think we're headed there, but I think it's going to take some time. I think we might see that happen either like a retest. I'm saying a retest maybe sometime in December. But if we do not break that and the crypto markets start coming down again, this is why, it might delay things a little bit. It might go up there. It might get rejected, trade sideways. And then maybe sometime in April or March, the crypto markets will pump like crazy. Yeah, gotta get the rainbows, bro. Gotta get the rainbows. It's a pretty chart, man. It's a pretty chart. That Mina right now, number 1, up 80%. And what's all the way down here? Perp? Cyber. And SEI. Some of these are just getting ready to pop, man. Some of these. Fun. Is Fun pumping right now? Oh. I think this is just one of those like wacky candles because it has low volume. But typically when Fun pumps, DWAC does too. And DWAC has low volume as well. Okay, AMC. Go LDO, man. I think LDO is going to be one of the ones that pops soon. Cryptocurrencies LDO, because I've been seeing it. Look at this back here. So LDO is this kind of like tannish color. You can see it on the right screen. It's up 2.2% on this indicator, and it's constantly breaking above it. That's usually a sign. That's one of the initial signs I look at. I'm going to show you guys how this right here was it. This is one of the things I looked at before Pepe started running. So we come back to Pepe, and this happened yesterday here. Look at this. So Pepe is the baby blue. It goes up all the way at 30% yesterday, October 23rd. Right before it did that, though, baby blue, take that into account here for a sec. Look at what it's doing before. It's breaking above everything. It breaks above it. It comes back down, and then it trades sideways within the average here before it just breaks out. So Pepe, let's see some of the other ones here. Ordi, which is ordinals, had done the same thing. It breaks above it for a little bit, and then it just pops. And in this case, okay, this is Waves. Waves had been doing it a little bit too. Waves is the same tannish color, breaks out over here a little bit. So knowing those, kind of taking those, and I'm telling you, man, looking at this right here, it trades above it for a little bit. That's just telling me that the shorts are having a really hard time keeping it suppressed with the entire algorithm. So the fact that it's up here right now is a sign, I think, that LDO is going to pop soon. LDO USDT. I'm saying, man, think LDO is going to pop. Looking at the entire, let's see, the daily chart right now. Yeah, dude. I mean, That's the fake out. Whew. What else do we have popping right now? Ordinals? Is that Ordinals? Yep, Ordinals is coming back up. But something about LDO, man. Rich, thank you, man. Thank you for the 5. Dude, gotta love Casey, man. Casey's a good guy. Uh, yeah. Uh, Shout out to him, man, for that distracting Nana. Love it, love it. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, good stuff, man. Good chat. I know, and that's the thing, man. Like, uh, I'm trying to show the other side here of what we kind of deal with here on the Discord and what we do, because it's one thing. And guys, I love AMC. You know this. I mean, I've been covering AMC for the last 2 years. So AMC, holds a very deep place in my heart for sure. And I know that AMC is at least one of the more predictable predictable stocks, at least using the algorithm when it comes down to these volatility zones. I understand that. I know that. But at the end of the day, AMC is going to do what AMC is going to do, even if it dumps. And we have these short-term pumps and stuff. It happens, right? And I'm not gonna stop covering AMC or anything like that. But I do want to preach that, there are a lot of the market is full of opportunities, and there's no reason why we can't cover and talk about everything else. So this is just the other side of how I've used the AMC algorithm and the cycle and apply that to other stocks and other crypto, and especially right now, cryptocurrencies in the market. I think it's opened up a lot of opportunity. And I figured, yeah, sure. The chat here is pretty, it normally, you're gonna get a larger crowd when it comes down to the whole AMC thing, which I completely understand. But I know that there is that side to that appreciates everything else that's going on in the markets, and just wanted to showcase that here for you guys because, man, again, opportunities, guys. The markets are full of them. All right. Is that CFX? CFX coming back up now with Ordi. And it looks like Pepe is also making its way back up. Okay, guys, gonna be taking a little break here. Take my my Shih Tzu out for a little walk. All right, guys, you got to do that to get your little breaks on. But guys, I'm planning on doing this more often. So again, trying to get the whole market outlook analysis here on everything, right? And share that with you guys. So if you want to check out more in detail what everything else here is and how we do it, you can also check out the Discord, and the link below will take you straight there along with these indicators and what they do, right? All right, so awesome, guys. I will see you on the next stream. Hope everybody has an awesome rest of the day. All right, bye-bye, guys.